Welcome to the bold analysis. Since I started analyzing, and I remember taking my position on that bipartisan thing as a trap on Raila Odinga, I am listening to Mwangi Kiunjuri keenly. I analyzed about Mwangi Kiunjuri in my previous video when I was at home, and attributing his statement to what he said in Kameme TV. I remember that needed that translation. Now, he has decided to take it down to the people. I want you to listen, and I think amongst the members of parliament, either from Kenya Kwanza or Azimio, this is the man that is speaking what all of us should embrace.
Wote wanakubaliana we don't have the right constitution in the Republic of Kenya. Basi kwa nini tunafutana? Only two things. Wote tumekubaliana. Kwa hivyo ndio mimi naomba Raila toka kwa barabara. Washana na maneno ya sufuria, washana na maneno ya kutupa mawe, kuja kwa meza moja. Na nyinyi wale tuko Kenya Kwanza, tuache maneno ya kutukana Raila na Azimio. Ili tukae chini pamoja, tusungumzie maneno ya nchi ya Kenya kama viongozi. Kusungumzia nchi ya Kenya, hakuna mtu anaweza ajipiga kivua aseme yeye ndiye akona raia. Manake hesabu tumefanya. We have 7.8 million unrepresented. Tuko na 7 million opposition. 7.1 million kwa serikali. Kwa hivyo kwa hakuna mtu anaweza ringa ati yeye ndiye na Kenya na ameweka Kenya kwa mfuko yake. Ndio tunasema kama kuna maneno tunazungumzia kuendelea mbele, kukarabati sheria yoyote ifanywe na mwananchi. Ifanywe na mwananchi. Raila amesema yake, amependekeza. William Samuel Ruto, president wa Kenya, amependekeza yake na ametuletea ndani ya bunge. Na sisi ambaye tuko nje, ambaye tu sio viongozi wa Azimio, sio viongozi wa Kenya Kwanza, wale wako nje watasikizwa na nani? That is why we are calling for inclusivity. Let us expand this committee. Isiwe ni ya wanasiasa peke yake. Wacha kanisa iingilie, wacha wasomi waingilie, wafanyabiashara waingilie, wataalamu wengine waingilie, lakini tusiletewe wataalamu kutoka nje. Kenyans problems requires a Kenyan solution. Na kwa hivyo tunataka tuombe, tukienda hii safari kwa mara ya kwanza, tutoe mimba na usawa. Sijui kama nimesema vizuri. Tutoe mimba na usawa. Usaha.
This gentleman has spoken. What is what it is. If we mean well for that bipartisan thing, I support President William Ruto. I am seeing him saying that we either go parliamentary or we don't, or there is nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, I am seated here in this studio saying, we will not go parliamentary, we will go to referendum. It will get there. This discussion, I think we must agree, and I fully support what Mwangi Kiunjuri is saying. No one has monopoly of idea here. Raila Odinga have unveiled the political parties, his team, and I'm seeing Nation, is it NTV, asking why Raila Odinga has not unveiled a team of professionals, or rather a team of members of the clergy. You know, Raila can only appoint politicians as of now. He can only appoint members from the ODM and the political parties. That is his space. So when Nation is asking Raila why Raila is talking about an all-inclusive, but he's not appointing members of the clergy, do you expect Raila Odinga to go and appoint members of clergy there? You know, some journalists sometimes are very lazy, by the way. I found that a bit lazy. Now, President Ruto must also accept that not Kenya Kwanza have monopoly monopoly of the idea. Now, if you compare the two, Raila is saying, let's bring everyone. And that is what this gentleman, Mwangi Kiunjuri, is saying. And this will help us to remove politics in this thing. In fact, even those, when this matter is left for politicians, wataribu supu. The politicians will meet, and after meeting, leave that meeting, go to a political podium and start spinning what is there and create political narratives. And their political narratives is just for creating imaginations in the minds of voters, or rather vote mobilization. So when you bring professionals, bring Law Society of Kenya, when you bring NCCK, when you bring SUPKEM, the Muslim organization, when you bring the business community in it, when you bring everyone, you are not going, in fact, don't even put a politician in charge of it. Number one, you will end up with one thing. You will end up with a way of sieving information, fact checkers. If you leave it for Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, Kenya Kwanza will come with a lot of emotional statements, and Azimio will come with a lot of emotional statements. Now, before you know, you cannot manage even the messaging behind it. The whole thing turns political without a merit, because changing the constitution, or a constitutional review, is not a one-man show. It's not a political party's show. Within the law, President Ruto is insisting on the confines of the parliament simply because he knows that in parliament he has the monopoly. Martha Karua said, and this is the voice, and this is what Martha Karua is saying. Martha Karua is saying, President Ruto should not hide behind these MPs, while at the end of the day, it is the speakers, it will be those who say nay and yes, it will be on the speakers. He controls both Senate and the National Assembly. Do you want to tell me? And then he's holding the hard line. So, in any case, it collapses there. What do we do? How does it go? And I can tell you, mass action will resume. Maandamano will resume. That's what this guy is saying. That maandamano will literally resume. The discussion on, I am a president, so it's my way or no way, that should not be it. Let's be honest. Raila Odinga, there are 7.1 million, and this gentleman is saying, there are 7.1 million who are not represented. This is a very clear message to William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. The people who are not part of what is going on. And that is the same thing happening. So I want us to look at this matter. Why do you think William Ruto is scared of a process that can get into referendum? Because what Mwangi Kiunjuri is saying, he's simply asking President William Ruto that you are getting it wrong. You are getting it wrong. Sasa, the same Ruto is saying, where are the hustlers? In fact, even where are the hustlers? He's saying you're getting it wrong. I want to say, and I think this should be on record, William Ruto is very scared of a process that will get to a referendum. And that is why he's going to parliament. Remember, he's willing to do everything. Even if we were to alter the structure of government and it takes effect after 2027 and it can be done in parliament, he's willing to do everything, but to make sure that we don't get to a popular vote. This is it. If you subject Raila Odinga to a vote referendum, it will mop up, it will help create euphoria, political regrouping, and reshape 2027. I can tell you that Ruto will be very willing to do this referendum in 2027. Just look at William Ruto. Just look at Uhuru Kenyatta. When Raila Odinga in 2014, when Raila Odinga did the Okoa Kenya, the whole thing was infiltrated and brought down by the state. While I remember the Isaac Hassan Commission telling us that, I don't know, those who signed were just chorad, their signatures were just many of signs of dogs and cows. And that was total lie. But in the second term, Uhuru Kenyatta was willing. You know why? Because it was going to change political tide. William Ruto knows very well. You allow Raila Odinga to get into some sort of a referendum, regroup, and get a political movement. 2027 is a very difficult contest for William Ruto. He knows that. That's how ODM was formed after the referendum, the failed referendum that lost. So we've always been told about this, and that's one reason that is really creating the whole of this problem. Very fearful of what that can portray. There is something from the mountain. 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote will actually revive the message of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and it will be a re-entry point to Raila Odinga. In fact, Raila can campaign on constitution. He campaigned on that in 2013. The Azimio team, now that they've pushed it, they campaign on that. And the 1 man, 1 shilling vote in the mountain, because it was a brainchild of Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, it will actually activate Raila Odinga's popularity in the mountain. And number 2, while that can work in the mountain, it will create a lot of antagonism. There are those who think sisi tunyang'anywa this, but so you will not want that. That's the second one. This is very interesting. But Ruto will want a process he can micromanage because he wants to take the credit. If this is to happen, the ceasefire was very important. It was very important. But if Ruto did not mean well for it, I'm telling you, these people will go back to the streets. They will. They will. I'm sure. These people, Azimio, will go back to the street. Now they've known the game. Advantage of Raila, if you give him an inch, he will overtake. Now we've started a process. We've said we want to go. You want parliament? Let's go. Let's bring everyone. It must be done outside parliament. Now, even those on Ruto's camp have started talking about it. Let me tell you, even those pastors, the M-Pesa bishops that are around William Ruto, he will not want, if it is to go that route, then not all those M-Pesa bishops are going to get there. It will be the Anglican, the Catholic, And the reason why he's scared of that approach is because it has the possibility of getting the international infiltration. The Catholic is an international body. The Anglican is an international body. Then you'll bring the evangelicals, which is local. So Ruto only has the locals here, and you will not want, you only have the evangelicals here. But the Catholic and the Anglican are they have that international influence that is coming. So he will also not want an international influence to come because that will change the tide. Lastly, this is what I see. Ruto knows very well that in case of a vote mobilization on the constitution, it's going to activate civil society organization and even the opposition in terms of funding. But intention will be to deprive of the political environment all that important cash for the campaigns. But when he takes that direction, he doesn't want to think about it because that will give Raila Odinga and the opposition party a fodder to get some good funding from the foreigners. But on what this gentleman Mwangi Kiunjuri is saying, take. Kila mtu, even us we want to, even me, I want to go and give my opinion. Kwani? Let's give. Even us, put everyone, put professionals, let members of the clergy, let us soup game. If you leave this thing for politicians, it's going to be destroyed. Because again, politicians are going to serve only those two interests. And again, you've closed it. You know, you've made it look very simplistic. It's not that simplistic. It's not that simplistic. Let's solve some of these problems. Winner takes all is a problem we've had for long. All of us are paying taxes. What is wrong if we have a situation where no one loses an election? Winner takes all. And this thing has been treated as a Raila thing. I think Raila is going home. After 2027, you will not see Raila vying again anyway, even if he chooses to vie in 2027. So some of these things, when they change, when constitution will change 10 years from now, those who will be the political ring are the young people like us, not the Raila Odingas. That you, the young person, William Ruto and the team are spending money to come and lie to you. That's about giving Raila the job. If Raila is to be given a prime minister job, in 2032, will Raila Odinga be a prime minister in this country? Forget about it. Let's face it as it is. I go with Mwangi Kiunjuri. I've got a man who is getting it right.